So we are going to do a little special episode because these two are getting married this week. Congratulations, y'all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're excited.
Are y'all ready?
As ready as we're going to be.
Yeah,
Good.
I don't know if Tommy's ready.
it's time.
Are
It's
you ready?
time.
Let's get ready to rumble.
I don't know if he's ready for real.
I think y'all are ready. I think y'all have done all the work. You have taken your classes. You have talked to each other and talked and learned more about each other. What I know that you went through that whole process, something that like I didn't even do. How was the relationship? Was it relationship or was it marriage counseling? Like what exactly was it that you had done for all those weeks?
It was a relationship course.
Okay. What did you two I'll go with you, Lori, first. What did you learn from the course?
So to put it in a nutshell, to just wrap it all up in a bow,
Mm-hmm.
I learned patience.
Ooh,
Like for real.
that's a big thing. That's a big thing.
But the ultimate thing I learned is to be patient and be compassionate to myself and to my mate.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell me, what did you learn?
For me, I would say the same thing. But one thing I think for the men, which helped, when we first started out, they had the men all together and the ladies together.
Okay.
So we just broke it down, and I think for the men, it helped us and taught us how to really get to know ourselves first.
Okay.
I mean, the ins and outs, the good, the bad. And then that way we can move into the relationship with our significant other or
Mm-hmm.
spouse, and we can better understand them because we understand ourselves.
Okay. I like
Yeah.
that.
So, yeah.
I see
And
the difference, especially like talking to the two of you and getting into like more depth of who each of you are and our friendships growing. Like I see the difference now. And even in the two of you, like it's just so funny, like hearing this episode back. I cracked up when y'all were talking about going on that walk. And Tommy was power walking because he was just afraid somebody was going to jump out of the bushes or what. I
No,
mean,
he was afraid of me, honey.
I thought that was
He thought
so
I was
funny.
gonna jump on him.
It was just that was hilarious. And I think too, as far as like the growth, even Lori, I remember when we did the Runaway Bride episode of you just turned a corner, like a literal corner was turned, and you were like, "That's it. I'm not running. This is it. I'm gonna do this." And I love that because we need more of this. We need more people to be examples like the two of you, like showing that you go through all these things. You go through all these relationships with all these different kinds of people, but you can still find your person. Like it's totally possible. So I
Yeah.
absolutely love seeing y'all grow together. I cannot wait to see y'all get married twice
thank you.
because it
Thank
is so special to do it. Let me tell you, it is so fun. So I'm really excited
No,
for the
she
two
said
of
it 'cause
you.
she did it.
Hmm?
She did it. That's why she's saying that. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited that happened.
Yes.
So now I
It's
have a point of reference.
yes, and it's really fun to have an anniversary A and an anniversary B, and it's very cool to have like that moment together and then that big moment with whoever is there, however is there. But the most important thing I think is no matter how many times you do it, the two of you are always there. And I absolutely love it. So I'm excited to replay this episode for everybody and to give y'all time together as newlyweds. And yeah, congratulations. Cheers to both of you.
Thank you.
So excited. All right, that's it. Enjoy the episode. You ready, Miss Lori?
I am.
Awesome. All righty. Well, tell the people what we have going today.
So I have my fiance on this episode with me. His name is Thomas Lagan.
Hello.
I'm
Very
so
formal.
I'm so excited to have him on the episode with us. And we're going to share our love story and what we have going on right now.
Yay. I'm excited. Well, welcome, Tommy. Welcome to our little big old show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. And Sylvia is going to just ask whatever's there in
Oh,
her
yeah.
heart to ask us and just chat with us. So,
You got my whole story. So I
yeah,
figured, why not? Let's get your whole story. So,
exactly. Yeah.
well,
So, on this episode, we ask what's been better, Tommy.
Okay.
And what's been better usually is the second session. Whenever I have a session with a client,
Mm-hmm.
the initial session is, hey, how can I help you? But then when I deal with all their issues and we work things out, any subsequent sessions, I will ask them what's been better,
Gotcha.
because it's better than starting off with a problem.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
yes.
So
Yes.
if you start out with what's been better, we only deal with better.
Okay.
And then as better continues, life just continues to get better. So
It just,
thus,
it
mhm,
changes your mindset when you have like sessions with Lori, because if you think about like the way most people think about therapy is like, woe is me, something's wrong, I gotta like fix my life, I need help, all these things, and you're only thinking about like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And it's different to sit down with Lori, because Lori is like, no, 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 let's flip that, let's figure out like what you do have, what is working for you, how is it working for you. So it it almost takes you off guard a little bit if you're not prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
But then you start thinking about it, like, so I always know, like, when I'm going to have a session with her that day, I'm literally trying to figure out like, oh, I haven't taken a moment today to think about what's better,
Got
because I know she's going to ask me.
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
So
yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah,
it's a total mind shift,
it
because
is.
we live in a world of don't, not, I don't want, this is what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't think about how life is good. This is what I desire, and focus like that. So,
Yeah.
Sylvia, what's been better?
uh Work, like getting back into an actual workspace, workflow, and conquering my little checklist every day for the last couple days has been interesting. And
Nice.
I'm like, okay, I could do this. I could do this. And then having Drew at the other end of the desk to be like, you could do it. Keep doing is,
Okay,
a
cool.
little boost. So,
Okay, that's
yeah.
so lovely.
So, yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm going to actually ask Tommy
Okay.
first,
Okay.
what's been better?
What's been better? Well, we've been going through counseling,
Hmm.
and I've been learning a whole lot of things about myself that I didn't know.
Ooh, okay.
Uh,
Like
so,
what?
uh, well, the reason why I do some of the things that I do, they have
Okay.
a what they call an Enneagram.
Mhm.
So you answer these questions, and then it shoots out, hey, these numbers are what you are.
Mhm.
And when I looked at the number, which I'm a number 9, and it
Okay.
has a description of what number 9, I guess, people do
Mhm.
and how they live and how they interact with people. So as I was reading it, I said, wow, that's me
Yes.
100%. So it was very eye opening, and it's almost scary.
It is a little bit, because you're like, what did I say that made you exactly pinpoint who I am? And I'm actually a combination of enneagrams, and I
Mhm.
have a little 9 in me, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
What's your
But
number?
I'm a 4 and a 9 and a little touch of a 1,
Mhm.
actually.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but for
Yeah.
sure I'm a
So
4.
Okay.
yeah. So I'm a 9 and wing style 8 or 1, and then a 6
Okay.
too
Okay.
is in there. So, but yeah, it's that's been better for me. So I'm all about trying to improve myself uh, for my relationship and for
Mhm.
myself as well.
That's cool.
So
That's
that's
very
what's been
cool.
better.
All right. Lori, what's been better for you?
Well, my website is back up.
Yay. Yay.
Yes, I have to tweak a couple of things, but other than that, um, that's good. I had a conversation with my accountant. That's always, well, I'm not gonna say it's always better, because I'm on pins and needles until I talk to her, so
Okay.
we could talk about where I am and how I'm, where I'm going. But it was really good. And so I
Okay.
was really happy about that.
All right.
And things are just on the up as far as our um our podcast. I'm excited about it. I'm excited
Mhm.
about the possibilities. I'm just excited about our future.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all of that's better.
I'm
I
glad.
don't I don't know if I told you. I don't know if you're familiar with um what is it? Mercury being in retrograde. Are you familiar with
Yeah,
that?
I've heard about all that stuff. It's a
Okay.
it's a it's a trigger point, but yes.
Okay. Well, Mercury is in retrograde right now.
Mhm.
And I don't know when it started and when it's going to end because I hadn't even paid attention to that. I just
I try not
know.
to.
Oh, okay. But in planning a wedding, you you definitely want to plan around that, right? And
Okay.
so, but as I was telling Tommy, I said, "It's some weird shit going on right now." And
Yeah.
then I was dealing with a client, and the client was talking about how Mercury's in retrograde. I said,
Yeah.
"Yes, of course." So
It's a to me, I look at it like the science perspective of Murphy's law when like everything that could go wrong is gonna go wrong. So
right,
yeah.
right,
But yes, that's a whole long story to unpack way later. I don't deal well with um the signs and the tarot card readings and the none of that. Mm-mm.
right,
Hell no.
right.
Fuck out of
But
here. Mm-mm.
but what it did for me though is it was another exercise in me relaxing and
Okay.
trusting that everything is going to work itself out
Yeah.
and not freaking out when things don't go the way I anticipate because life is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Things will happen, trees will fall into the highway, like shit will happen.
Right.
And it's about how we respond to what's happening in our lives.
Yeah. But I'm
Yeah,
glad that that's back up because I know that website was giving you the blues and we didn't need that.
girl, bye.
But it's fixed and we're good and we can all take a deep sigh of relief. So good. But all right. Well, let's get into this.
Absolutely. What you got?
I let's start at the beginning.
All right.
How did you two meet? And let me ask this because I now know that I need to ask. Do you have the same story as to how you met?
I think so.
Yes, I think
Okay.
so.
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna let
then
Tommy
that's what
start.
I was gonna say. I'm gonna ask Tommy, how did you meet?
Okay, so this is how we met. So, a good friend of mine, Johnny, um, we went to high school together. We were in the band together.
Okay.
We both played in the jazz band, played in the concert band and marching band, and both played saxophone as well.
Okay.
So he invited me over for his annual Christmas party. So went over to the Christmas party and kind of chatted with, just mingling with people. And the first thing I said to her, there was some grapefruit vodka, I think it was. And I saw her grabbing it and it had just a little swig left in the bottle.
Okay.
And she poured it in her glass.
It was actually moonshine, but
Y-
I'm gonna keep it pushing.
Yeah, so I just know it was white liquor.
Here we go with the divergent ideas, but okay.
Yes. So I said, "Hey, you didn't save me anything to drink?" And she said, "I'm sorry, that's it." And bam, that was it. So after that, we kind of talked a little bit. We went downstairs and we started playing spades. So I was playing with another good friend of mine, I think named Sam or your dad, one of them. And she was, no, I was playing with Tori, I think, right?
Yeah, he didn't
Her
know these
daughter.
people. He was
Yeah.
playing with my daughter. He was partners
Okay.
with her,
Yeah.
and I was partners with one of his old high school uh
Okay.
friends
So
or
then you
whatever.
kind of got to see each other's style of playing spades, which is
Real.
it's a requirement.
It
Yes.
is.
Okay.
Yes. So we did that and we
Wait, wait,
even
wait. You
danced.
can't skip over this. Hold on now.
Okay.
Is
Okay.
she cutthroat or is she timid at the table? How does she play spades?
She's very competitive. Like
Okay.
very, very competitive, like and very vocal and
Okay.
animated and
So she's
wow,
cutthroat.
bam, and yeah, that
So she's
type of
cutthroat.
stuff.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All
So,
right.
you
Do you
know,
see my face?
now see, she's doing that because when we're partners, she's chill and I'm the more animated. But see, when I was playing against
Oh,
her, she turns into a different person.
okay. Okay.
Yes.
Well, she has something
Yes.
to prove. She has to hold her own when she's playing
Yes.
against you. She's trying to beat you. But if she's
Yes.
playing
Exactly.
with you, then you have to take the lead at that point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come
Okay.
on.
All
Come on,
Yeah.
right.
Sylvia.
So so the night kind of went on and she said to me, "Hey, what's going on with you? Are you okay?"
I said that while we were playing.
No, afterwards.
Oh,
This was after the space game.
oh, where was I?
I think we were upstairs. We had gone back upstairs to get something else to drink. And
Okay.
so I said, "What?" Because nobody's ever asked me that.
Really?
Yeah. So it was like just out of the blue. And what's funny is I was actually in a relationship that was fizzing off. Like she was moving back to Illinois in about what, probably 6 months, somewhere around 6 months time frame. So we were like roommates at that point. We just,
Okay.
she said, I want to go back home, and so that's fine. So I was kind of going through that, and when she said that, I was like, wow. So do I have it written all over my face or what?
You
And
didn't know what Lori, were you a therapist by then at this time?
Yeah, this was 19. This was 2000.
Oh.
This
Oh
is recent.
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
very recent.
Oh, okay.
And I just my chipper self, I didn't think I had anything written. It's written all over your face, like the song. Just say the word,
Have to
right?
say a word.
So she said the word, hey, are you okay? What's going on? So I froze. I'm like, what? And she said, look like you're going through something.
Ooh.
So I just told her, hey, I'm in a relationship right now. This is what's going on, just from top to bottom, because I wanted to be upfront with her,
Uh-huh.
with everything. And I wasn't really looking to meet anybody, anything like that. It was just one of those things. And we kind of connected. It was kind of funny. We still kind of connected.
Mm-hmm.
And then I felt like, wow, she sees me, because nobody's ever asked me that. Am I okay? I'm always asking people, are they okay?
I love this.
So that
Okay.
was really that kind of touched me. I was like, wow. So I started thinking, like, what's going on? Like, do I have this like aura on me that's just, you know?
Right.
And so go ahead. You kind of go
Uh,
from there.
okay,
Wait, there's
so
more? Okay.
well, it was the exchange because I don't necessarily remember me even asking him that, but of
Okay.
course I wouldn't because it didn't hit me the same way it hit him. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So whenever I asked him that, it must have done something on his end.
And this
I
is
just
still at the Christmas party.
right. This is
Yes.
this is at the end. So
Okay.
he's about to leave. I'm chilling because I only had a little bit to drink. I'm not going home. I'm gonna spend the night with my cousin and and I had to go to work the next day anyway. It was like a Saturday night. So I knew I had to go to work the next day and I was gonna spend the night. But before he left, we exchanged numbers.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, as soon as he said he was in a relationship, because he's a handsome young man right here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I am I'm single. And when he said he was in a complicated relationship, I was like, fuck. You know,
An entanglement.
whatever he said it was. When he
Whatever.
said that, I was just like zero. Like this is not
Okay.
that he was a zero, but I'm like this situation. Like I don't have time for that shit.
Right.
And so in my mind, I'm like, I'm wishing him the best. Peace. I just was thinking next. I mean,
Okay.
like we exchanged numbers. And it's crazy because he reached out to me before New Year's because this was Christmas time, Christmas 19.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right before 20, right?
Right.
And all shit was about to jump off.
Yeah.
What interestingly enough, and again, I wasn't thinking anything of this because he was in a relationship, so I was just like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But my cousin had his birthday, his 50th birthday. Or was it his 40th? No, it was his 50th birthday Yeah.
Yeah, 50.
In February. So it was 3 months later. So I saw him again.
Okay, and you saw him, like, right before COVID, so yeah.
Yes. Saw him right before COVID. And this time, this dude was like, you could tell he was feeling me.
Hold on.
Okay.
So
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
this is what happened. What had happened was,
Lori's
so
face.
I got to the party first, and I came in, and some of my classmates were there. So I spoke to everybody, and I sat down on the sofa, and I'm like, man. So to be honest, I wasn't expecting her to be there. It wasn't like I was looking for her or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
So I sat there for a
Mm-hmm.
while, just looking around, and then she walked in, and I'm
Okay,
like,
wait. Hold on, I have to ask this before you go forward. That was her cousin's birthday party.
My first cousin.
So
yes.
how did you not know that this lady was gonna be there?
I
Come
wasn't
on.
thinking about that.
Oh,
I wasn't.
Mhm.
I'm serious. I was because I was on the end
as
of
I
a
sip my
relationship,
drink.
so I wasn't trying to start anything. I wasn't. I don't like drama.
Right.
So I wasn't. My mindset wasn't on that.
Okay.
My frame of mind. I wasn't even there. I'm just like, I'm at the party to enjoy myself.
Mhm.
And so she came through the door, and I'm sitting there, and I looked around, and she said, "Hey." I said, "Hey." So she sat down, and we just started talking, and she sat there for the majority of the party until he called everybody downstairs to the basement, and that's when they sang happy birthday, and he even came down and played a little sax song, on the saxophone. So it was really nice. And they started playing music. He had a DJ, and we did dance a little bit. So we danced a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and that was really nice. And did anything else happen before I left?
We talked the whole time.
Yeah, we just talked.
We talked the whole
Okay.
time. This
Yeah.
dude was into me. It's almost like he met me at a club. Like
All
it was
right.
he forgot about the person at home that I guess the relationship was over. It was like it was almost to say this. I wonder how this gonna be.
Well, see,
All right.
in my mind, everything with that relationship was over. It's just that I'm waiting for her to transition and go back, because we
Mhm.
had gone, when you're in a relationship and somebody tells you, "Hey, I want to go back home, da da da," and they continue to tell you that every like 1 to 2 to 3 months, they just tell. So you're starting to believe them. Okay, this is what they want, so let's just make it happen, and at that point in my mind, I'm just done with it, but we're still physically still in the house, you
And
know.
you weren't interested in moving back to where were they saying this as like as more of a question to say you go with them?
Yeah, well, she had asked me that at the beginning.
Okay.
It's a small town about 2 hours south of
She asked you to
Chicago.
go back with her.
Yeah, at one time she said, "Why don't you just go back with me?" It's a place called Champaign, Illinois,
Okay.
and it's
Near
a
Urbana,
very
the
yeah,
where the
yep,
college
exactly.
is.
Yep, yep. So it's a very small town, and me, I grew up in Atlanta.
Yeah, no.
When I was in the military, I spent time in small towns because they have this military, except for like
Mhm.
San Diego, some of the other cities. But I can't operate in small towns,
No.
So I said, there's no way.
Right.
So we just decided, okay, this is what it is. And we had gone out a couple times. We went to JR Crickets, and it was like, hey, do your thing. A couple guys, came over to try to talk to her and this and that. I'm like, I'm cool. It
Mhm.
is what it is. So I'm cool with that. So that's where my mindset was. So we danced a little bit.
He jumped back. He
We,
jumped back to the party.
yeah. So we
Yeah.
went back at the party, and we danced a little bit. I'm like, man, and a few drinks, a few drinks later, I'm feeling good. I'm really relaxed now. So I'm just
Okay.
like, man. So we dancing, and I'm feeling her. I'm like, wow, man, this is nice. But still, even though I've had a couple drinks, I'm still in my right mind. I'm not trying to get into an entanglement,
Okay.
any mess, you know. So
But
right before, go
okay, go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
So right before I got ready to leave, she was on the balcony
No, that was in December.
Okay, that was in December. Okay, so
So
I was getting ready to
we're
leave.
in February
Okay,
now.
so you take it over from here because you
Okay,
got a
wait,
better.
before you start then,
Nah.
Lori, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
You said, and he said that he was feeling you.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
How
Oh
did
yeah.
you feel though?
Well, I already had in the back of my mind, this person is not leaving until August. It's February.
Oh,
So
okay.
you got March, April, May, June, July, August. That's 6 months. I'm like, for me, I don't deal with that kind of stuff. I'm not doing
Mm-hmm.
that. So whatever's happening tonight, I think you're cool people, but it's a wrap. Like, I just don't, I think you're a cool person.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed our conversation. I just knew it was just going to be platonic.
Yeah.
And that's
Okay.
what that was for
Yeah.
me. I could tell he was feeling me. I really could. Like, cause he was on me like white on rice. And
Okay.
when one of his boys, the wife of one of his boys about to leave, she gave him this look. And I didn't get it from her. Like, you know how you can give somebody a look?
Mm-hmm.
She looked at him and then, was kind of looking at me. And I was like, in my mind, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So that look was a thing, because you know how we do,
Yes.
and so there was this look like, do what you doing kind of look,
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been knowing her for over 20 something years.
right?
Okay.
So she
So,
knew, the relationships that I was in and the hurt and everything that I had gone through. But I hadn't talked to her in a while. So she was looking like, what's going on?
right.
Right.
And
That
I
Okay.
type of
and
thing.
I
Yeah.
felt it, and you can feel vibes,
Mm-hmm.
but for Tommy, he didn't seem like that whole person, like that
Right.
dude that's on some shit. I didn't pick up the vibe that he was just trying to hang out with me for the night kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
He just seemed like he wasn't a happy person,
Right.
like he wasn't in a happy situation.
Okay.
So the point was, I got it. If he was single, right,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to get to know you,
You would
kind
be
of thing.
interested, basically.
Right. So I got this. So once that whole event was over, um, weeks went by, COVID happened,
Yeah.
and my birthday's in March. It's the end of March.
Oh shit.
So it was right when the world shut down.
Okay.
The world shut down on the 21st of,
Of
or that
March.
Friday or that Saturday. So that Saturday was like the 21st. My birthday was the next weekend. So he hit me up and he said he was gonna come by and visit.
You are bold.
Very, very much so.
Well,
Yeah.
you have to understand. I was during that period, man. I don't know if it was hell, but when you living in a house with somebody
Mm-hmm.
and it's like y'all roommates and you're like, man, I can't wait, till this is over. And
Mm-hmm.
you're not going anywhere. Like I don't go hang out at clubs or at bars or anything like that. So I'm in the house. I go to
Right.
work, I'm in the house, and I'm like, oh my goodness, so I'm like, I got to get out and do something because I'm losing myself.
Right. Right.
So I hit her up, but before that, I hadn't hit her up or nothing because I was staying true to myself. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
trying to start any mess.
Right.
And I made the phone call and I was like, okay, made the phone call.
Yeah. So so I'm just chilling. My family came over because we're quarantining.
Right.
We didn't know what the fuck COVID was.
No.
What is that? But my birthday is my birthday. So I'm always gonna enjoy myself. And my family, birthdays are important.
Okay.
So my brother comes over, my sister comes over. Like, the house is full of the family. So I'm outside and on the patio with my brother, and somebody said, "Laura, you have company." I'm like, "Who the fuck is over here?"
Okay.
But I forgot that early on he said, "Happy birthday. I want to come by and say hello." So I gave my address, but I totally didn't think nothing else about it. So
Really?
no,
Like you
when
weren't like kind of excited?
no, let me tell you, for me, if
Mm-hmm.
your ass isn't single, what?
This is true.
I,
This
And,
is
I
true.
I don't have nothing. I'm not excited.
and let me say one thing. When I had talked to her before I asked her for her address, but still, I was very hesitant,
Okay.
very hesitant. And I'm gonna tell you what kind of pushed the go button on it. My sister had just moved and she was like, "Hey, can you come over and hook up my wash and dryer?"
Mhm.
And she lives about what, 10, 15 minutes, if
Cool.
that,
The
choo
choo-choo?
choo,
Okay. Yeah.
maybe 10 minutes from her. So, I'm saying, okay, well, I can stop by there and then roll around to see Lori all in
Mhm.
one swoop and, stay for a minute and then break out. I'm not trying to stay all night, hang out, nothing like that, because I'm still physically in a situation,
Right.
so I'm not trying to be fighting and doing all this stuff.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to go through all that drama, even though we're not physically together.
Right.
But you know how some people are, they,
Yes,
you know,
messy people are messy.
yes.
Mhm.
So I left there, came by her house.
It's so cool to hear backstories because I ain't know none of that.
Yeah. And
So
it
I'm
was,
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
on the patio and then somebody said, "Hey, Laura, you got company?" And I walk in and I see Tommy and I'm like, "Whoa!"
Oh.
It is his first time he walked over, under my threshold. I'm like, oh, "Okay, hey, how you doing?" So we chatted it up for about, I don't know, 30 minutes. He was telling me his story, about how miserable he is. So I guess I played the counselor or whatever. Life is gonna be good. You're gonna be all right. I'll
Right.
holler at you. You know,
Mhm.
he leaves and really and truly for me, my true thought was he was just waiting his time out. And I think he already knew he wanted to hang out with me. I think he really
Okay.
knew in his heart of hearts. I don't know for on his end, but in my mind, I think he knew I was a good catch.
Okay.
You know, I felt him, I figured he was a good guy. He seemed wholesome. I like that. He seemed like a person of integrity. I like that because he could have pushed up on me. He
Mhm.
could have tried to, play both ends,
Right.
and he never did that, which I felt like, um, those are some good qualities of a good, like a righteous guy,
Right.
especially that's something I wanted. So, and I tested a little bit just to see what's up, and he kind of held his end. Like
Okay.
I'm a person of integrity. This is the thing. This is how I am, and I appreciated that.
yeah, I just
Okay.
So
don't like the drama. I was just, I'm not trying, because I did like her, and I'm like, man, she, like I said, the first thing was when she said, "Hey, what's going on? Are
Mhm.
you okay?" And nobody has ever cared about,
Wow.
"Hey, are you?" So this stranger said,
Right.
"Hey, are
Right.
you okay? What's going on?" So that was the thing right there, and I was very intrigued about that. So that whole time I'm like, I'm still in a situation. I'm not trying to have no drama, so I
Mhm.
didn't push up. I wasn't trying to, but I was still intrigued by her and like, man, I want to get to know her. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I'm not trying to get in no mess,
Right.
have her thinking, oh, you just trying to push up on me. You got a chick at home. And, I'm just not about that life, so.
which
Good.
which he showed that all the way through, and I appreciated that because had he ever, there would have
Mhm.
this wouldn't be here.
Right.
Because if you're not someone who is honorable, or if you're a person who doesn't have integrity, why would I even waste my time?
Right.
Because
Right.
I've overcome a lot of obstacles in my life as far as relationships are concerned,
Mhm.
and I wasn't going backwards. I'm only going forward.
And it's good that you already had that mindset and that you were already, on that path and like I'm going to hold to this path because I've already done that shit. I don't want to revert back.
Absolutely.
So,
Oh,
and
oh,
it's
wasn't.
good
Not at
that
all.
you could and you drew somebody towards you who was like, I don't want to deal with drama either, even though he was in a potentially dramatic situation. Like
Hmm.
you knew that other person could turn on a dime and it could be a dramatic situation, I guess. Is that kind of how you're saying like it could have been dramatic?
Well, for me,
That's what she's asking you.
yeah,
Like
it
could
could have,
that it
yeah,
could
it
have
could have been, yeah, because
okay.
I think sometimes people will say, like, for that situation, it was like, yeah, I want to go back home. I miss my friends, da da da. And she had been saying that for over a year. So,
Mhm.
when people keep telling you this, you start believing and you
You
start
have
thinking,
to.
you know what? It's pretty much it's gonna be over. You just
Mhm.
waiting for that final, hey, I'm gonna leave, you know?
Okay.
And so for me, and even what's crazy, and I don't know if I ever told you this, that night when I got home, because I think I might have got home at about 11:30, and
What, from my party or from my
from your
birthday?
house,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So it was somewhere about 11:30, and even during that time, I was like, man, it might be some mess, because I don't never go anywhere, especially coming home late. I
Mm.
went by my
He
sister.
wasn't coming home from my place at no 11 o'clock
Yeah,
because
Oh,
he
you
left.
didn't stay that long.
No,
yeah.
not at all.
Okay, so
It
you
was
went
probably about
somewhere
8 something.
else.
No, I didn't go anywhere else.
It wasn't. It wasn't that late though.
Well, for me, I thought it was late,
Oh,
but
Oh, okay.
yeah. So when I got home, somebody gets in my face. Where you
Oh
been?
boy.
oh my goodness.
And I was like, really? We not even in that right now.
Right.
We're done, and and all of that. So I think sometimes, people, even though they say they're done, they're really not done in their heads.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like crazy for me, and I was like, I don't even want to deal with this. I'm glad
Okay.
you're leaving. I can't wait, and this and that. Because when somebody tells you, I don't want to be in this anymore,
Then
I'm
don't
gonna
be it.
honor that. Yeah, I'm gonna
Right.
honor that. I'm like, hey, whatever you want. You want to go home? Cool.
Right.
I'm good.
Right,
Right.
right. But for me, Sylvia,
Mm-hmm.
if you under the same, um, if you're in the same spot,
Yeah, if you're
you know,
living together.
right, that shit ain't over
Yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
see, for
until
me, I had never been in that situation before.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, if you tell me, hey, we're done, da, 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 I'm just listening to you and I'm giving you what you want. So I'm not holding
Yeah.
on to anything. I'm like, okay, that's what you want. And then you're acting like, hey, we're done. I'm cool. We go out, right? We go to JR Crickets and you're like, hey, if somebody come talk to me, are you gonna be cool with that? I'm like, I'm cool.
Yeah, but there's still
But yeah, but see for
you're
me,
entangled.
yeah, but see
Mhm.
for me, I've never been in that situation. So I'm thinking, okay, whatever. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
thinking some woman gonna come up and try to talk to me because, you know,
But even if a woman did, she would lose her mind. You see what I'm
yeah.
Yes,
saying?
But
She
see,
absolutely.
can say
yeah, but
whatever
see,
she wants to say.
I have never been in that type of situation, like drama like that.
Like
I've
a
never,
one-sided,
yeah,
this
Mhm.
person gets to have their cake and eat it too, and
yeah,
Right.
keep up the shit and do. Yeah, I understand.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Mhm.
Hmm.
fast forward.
Okay.
When does that situation end and you two begin? Do you have to wait
Uh,
till August?
well,
Absolutely.
yeah, and what's
Oh my
crazy is
God.
I was in and out, man, because as the time is winding down, you know, and I don't, like I said, I don't go anywhere. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking, man, I really like our conversation,
Mm-hmm.
between me and Laura. I'm like, man, that's cool. And so it's like picking at me. It's just picking like, call her, call her, call her, call her, call her. And I'm like, I ain't trying to get in no mess. But I did call her a couple times. And I think what was it, around July 4th, I
Mhm.
think?
Mhm.
She invited me over where she said, hey, let's go get something to eat. And
Okay.
I was nervous because I'm like, man, I'm just whew,
You still got like 30 days left.
yeah, but I'm still nervous because I'm in this situation and anything might jump off. And I'm just like, I'm not trying to get in that mess,
And this is me testing.
and I'm nervous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but see, I don't like when people try to test you, and
He don't know.
to me
So
that's playing games though for me.
ain't nobody playing
So
games.
so
Wait, and I can see both sides. I can see both
yeah,
sides. Lori is testing the situation in order to figure out, does she even want to continue the situation?
yeah,
Yep.
You don't like being tested because you're like, don't fucking play with me. I said what I
But
exactly,
he
said. I'm
yeah,
going to
doesn't
do what
but
I'm
exactly,
going to
yeah,
do.
yeah, but he doesn't
yeah.
know.
But
Yeah, you
even
don't
when
know that the other person is testing you
yeah,
unless they tell you, like, see, that's why you messed up, whatever,
Thank
because
you.
they're
yeah,
waiting on you to do it.
And
But
he wanted to see me.
this is true.
but in my head, I'm still hesitant. I'm like, man, should I do this? Man, I don't
Okay.
know. I'm that's where I was, to be honest. So go ahead, go from
So
there.
so wait, so all right, we're gonna cut this other lady out. The other lady finally leaves.
This is before that though. This is
Oh, okay.
July 4th when Lori
When you
asked me
called.
out. She said,
Okay.
"Hey, let's go grab something to eat." So I
Okay.
let
So the
her
lady
take
is
it from
still
there.
here.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
she's still there. So he came over, and this is funny because, like, I'm kind of feeling him at this point. So I might
Okay.
say hello, or I might, hi, how are you doing? So I asked him, it's hilarious. So I asked him what what was he doing for the 4th of July, right? And he said, I don't know, I gotta check in with my daughter. I'm like, who the fuck, what? Like,
And
who does that
for
shit?
me, to be honest, like my daughter, she spends holidays and stuff, but I was in that nervous, so that came out.
You were trying to do anything at this point
Yeah,
because you're
I was
like
like,
panicking a little
yeah,
bit.
because I didn't know what to say. I'm not a player, so I ain't got, a book of
You didn't have any
rhymes.
game.
Yeah, a book of rhymes.
Not
I call it
right
rhymes.
at all.
I didn't have a book, where I could just pull out and be like, oh
But
wait,
I can
such and such.
appreciate that. I
Yeah.
can appreciate
Well,
that.
yes, I can too, but I'm like, this dude he's
I
talking
mean,
about,
is your daughter younger though?
yes, she's
Yeah.
like 20. Like,
Well,
Oh,
no,
she
well at
was
that time
college.
she
She had
was
just got to like
she was
19.
19.
Yeah, she was like
No,
19.
she was 18 at that time.
Okay,
okay.
whatever. She wasn't a kid. She
Yeah.
was, but she was in college, and so I'm like, what
But
the hell?
that's what came out.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what came out, which is hilarious.
Okay.
And I'm like, whatever. It's very wholesome. Rated G. I'm
Very.
still I'm still cool with it because I'm like, he could have been saying some other bullshit.
Right. He
It
could
could
have
have been a
been.
lie.
Yes.
Right.
I was
So
nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
really bad.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
nervous because she was like real, just relaxed, man. And
Mm-hmm.
and I could feel it. And I'm like, whoo,
And I
man.
guess that could be a little bit intimidating if the other person is playing it very cool and you're
Uh,
like, wait, do you even like me? I get that you called me to ask me to go get something to eat, but like, what is this about?
yeah.
Yeah, and it's straight platonic. Like, again, he ain't ever trying to kiss all on my face and hug. Like, none of that.
Right.
We ate. We went to this Jamaican restaurant. We ate a little bit. We went to a park and went for a walk. And this is how I
Okay.
knew his ass was nervous. We just going on a
This is hilarious, guys. This is really hilarious right here because I was just trying to just walk through the park and get back to the car and go home. So, but somebody else had other plans.
I was just like,
Yeah.
hey, what
Wait, say
I
that
got to
one more
do?
time. Say that one more time, Lori. Because
I was just chilling, right?
mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, I just wanted to take him to this park that I walk in. His
Okay.
ass was walking like 20 miles a minute. Like he walking. He walking like his life depends
I
on
was
this shit.
nervous, man. I'm telling you.
I could
Oh my
feel it.
goodness.
I felt
Okay.
he was moving. I was like, ain't nobody trying to go on no fast ass. Well, we ain't exercising.
And
We
this is what she said. Hey, can you slow down? Why are you walking so fast? And it took a second. Look, it took a second for me for that to register because I'm focused. I'm like, where does this trail end?
Mm.
And when she said that,
You
I
gotta
just
get out
stopped.
of here.
Yeah, I gotta get out. Man, I'm trying to get out of there because I
oh
don't know who's
shit.
stalking in the trees looking at me.
Oh
You know,
See the
so I'm
guilt?
nervous.
That's some guilt shit.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
guilt.
nervous.
Yeah. And so
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 so I stopped and looked at her and I said, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You walking so fast." And I didn't even realize I was, I didn't, I was just walking, man.
he was blowing smoke. Like
I could
he was
believe
beating people jogging and shit. Like that's how fast he was walking.
he
He was
was
doing it with no power.
terrified.
Who knew? I didn't know. So I'm like, slow your ass down for real, because I ain't trying to break no sweat on this leisurely walk here.
Right.
Yeah. But
So
I didn't know it was a leisurely walk.
I don't know why you didn't. Well,
thank you, because
you
we
couldn't know
weren't.
anything because your brain was like, I'm gonna get in trouble for doing this.
Thank you. That's all he was on. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, that old girl on the end was gonna beat the shit out of him with the gun.
Tell you, man, I don't like no drama,
My
man.
God.
I'm telling you.
Oh my God. But I'm glad we're having this conversation so he can really get the fact that I felt what he was dealing with.
Yes.
He was trying to play that shit off, but the truth was he was over it, but he was also afraid of old person because
Well, I'm gonna be honest, and I know most guys, well, I don't know if most guys or whatever, but the guys that I've known when I was in the military, they didn't care about women's feelings.
Of
And
course
for
not.
me, even though we're in that situation and the time is winding down, I'm still thinking about your feelings. I'm not trying to do something that's going to bring up issues, and then you start immediately, the switches flipped on. Oh, you've been doing this the whole time, and
Mhm.
I'm just not, and I know you're not supposed to worry about what people think of you, but that was my thing. I don't
Yeah.
want this person to think that I've been doing this, like Lori said, I'm a hoe and I'm doing this thing the whole time. That was really what I was worried about. When
Right.
I should have been worried about, because she didn't care about my feelings, but
No,
I didn't want to, hurt her feelings in whatever manner that might have been,
but
Right.
this is a mark of being a good human
Yeah.
That's
first.
all. Right. Yeah.
So, yes, you were thinking about her feelings, but also you're just a genuinely good person. Like, I don't even know you, and I know you're a good person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just off
Right.
of like stuff like that. Because yeah, you could have been like, man, fuck her. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna do whatever. I'm trying to get on Lori.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
You could have been
It's
like, you got to move out. It's the middle of COVID and I can't stand you. I don't want to be here. Get out. You know what I'm saying?
get
You could have
get
done a
the fuck
whole
out
manner
right
of
now.
exactly,
Yeah.
especially how people were responding when it was like go home and sit down during the lockdown, like at the beginning
Yeah.
of COVID, and you
Mhm.
already don't want to be with this person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
A person like me would have been like, bitch, get out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not gonna deal with
Exactly.
this.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I will fast forward. So after that, that was like the last really time that I got a chance to hang out with him.
Hold on.
Mm.
Tell her
Okay.
what you was expecting me to do on that walk, though.
I don't know.
Remember you said you thought I was going to kiss you?
Maybe. I don't remember though.
Yeah. So later
Oh.
on, she told me that she thought I was just going to grab her and kiss her.
Nah, he was trying to power walk. He wasn't thinking about doing that.
No, not that even. I'm glad he didn't, because again, if he did, all
Then he would
bets
have,
would have been off.
yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Even if I expected it or wanted it, because
Mm-hmm.
now mind you, I had been attracted to him from day one, but
Okay.
I just still had to like allow myself to let life happen, right? But it did come to an end. So right around the beginning of August, I was done. I didn't give a shit when she left at this point. I was like, I don't care. I'm not waiting for no dude. I felt like I was waiting for
Oh,
him.
okay.
And I even said that to him. I said, I'm not waiting for you. If something happens, if I happen to meet somebody, it's a wrap. So somebody from my past reached out to me like
Mm-hmm.
around the beginning of August, and he lived up in Maryland. So he was like, "Hey, come visit." And I was like, "Bet, I'm coming to visit." At the same time, my mom and my sister and her new husband and my dad were living in Pensacola. And they were like asking me to come visit too. And this is in August, right?
Mm-hmm.
So um so the visit up in Maryland, when the guy asked me to come visit, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go visit him. Forget this dude. He got some entanglement shit going on. I don't want to be bothered with that. Like I'm over it. you know. But it kind of fell through.
Okay.
And I was like, and that's like how life would have it. Because had I gone up there, it really would have been a done deal, you know.
Okay.
But it just kind of fell through because he had some other things he had to do, and he wanted to move it to another weekend. Well, the other weekend wasn't going to work because I was going to see my family in Pensacola.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like now the third weekend.
Yeah, this was August,
Like
around
around
August
8th.
16th.
Yeah, somewhere in there. And so
He
now
knew the whole date.
right. Well, so now I'm driving to Pensacola to visit my family, my mom and dad and my sister and her husband. And it's COVID, it's still COVID. It's
Yeah.
still kind of new because people,
You see my eyebrows are up because I'm like, you left the house, but all right, go
right.
ahead.
It was wild, but it was a lot of shit going on. So on my way, and I'm driving, I'm listening to my music and chilling and stuff. And I stopped and I went to Mellow Mushroom. I'm in Montgomery, and I'm just doing. And so I get a text from old dude
Because
telling
I'm
me,
driving around. I'm driving around COVID. Ain't nobody on the streets. I'm just riding around. Top down, just
August was
riding
a good
around.
time, wasn't it?
right,
Yeah.
right.
It's the
So
good days of COVID.
he hit me up, and I was like, what? And I'm looking at my phone like, who, what, So he said, "Hey," or whatever, and I'm like, "Hey, how are you?" Like I'm over it.
You had tapped out, uh-huh.
I'm over it, So I text him, "Hey, how are you doing?" And they ain't thinking nothing about him, right? So had my whole visit with my family and shit. Like it was fun. So
Mhm.
Monday rolls around, ready to bounce back out home, get ready to start seeing clients on Tuesday and stuff. And this dude called me on my way home because he's excited. Old girl done moved out. I
Okay.
ain't thinking about her move. Like again, I'm done with this shit. So I don't
Mhm.
know that she moved out, but he's excited that she moved out.
Yeah, but part of me, let me just say this one thing. Part of me, like I was glad she was gone, but then I was thinking, I'm feeling Lori, but I don't want to make no decisions at this point in my life. I don't want to make no decisions on being in a relationship because this
Okay.
whole thing, I'm just like, I'm over it. I'm just like, man, I'm done. This thing, I done
Mhm.
wasted time in this previous relationship for no reason. And just, I'm just over it, And so that's how I felt. But I called her and she was on the way home.
So
And
so you got a long drive up 65 and then across and up 85, and that's a lot of hours to be talking.
Well, we didn't talk like that.
Oh,
He
okay.
just called, to say how I was doing, whatever, whatever. And then that next weekend we started hanging out and we never stopped hanging out.
Oh, so what changed your mind, Lori, that there was a free and clear situation?
I think the date, like I was hanging out with my daughter like that next weekend and we had gone out, we were just going downtown and I think I responded back to a message from him and he said that he wasn't really doing anything. So I said, "Hey, come by and visit." And when he did, he came by and visited and we had a great conversation. We had a great time and it just continued from there. So that's like 2 years in now cuz it's
Okay.
what September. And so now that we're engaged, we got engaged back in March
Of
of this
20.
year, 2022. We got in
Okay.
so we got engaged in March and now it's about really fine tuning because like I shared with you before, and this has nothing to do with Tommy, I'll find a reason to break up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I get triggered from past relationships and then
Mhm.
also my own worthiness, my sense of worthiness. And so I have to remind myself I'm totally worthy. I'm
Right.
totally worthy to have the kind of relationship that I desire. And so I got to be the person that I need to be so that I can have the relationship that I desire to have. And so when he said we're in counseling, there's this course that we're taking on learning ourselves
Mhm.
so that we can be the people that we desire to be in this marriage, but at the same time in this like co-creation of things.
Okay.
And
I love
so
that.
right. And so and I wanted that because I'm like I'm not trying to get married to someone as if I don't truly know myself and he doesn't truly know himself. So this has been a beautiful walk. It's been a beautiful journey in us learning each other.
I love that. Like, have you in the process of, okay, so basically you have like all of 2021 to kind of, this is how I do this is how you do that. At what point did y'all start living together and that transition?
It didn't take long because this is my mindset. I'm
Okay.
50, now I'm 51. In
Mhm.
fact, we're only 3 months apart, and there's so
Okay.
many similarities between us. And 7 is one of my favorite numbers because it symbolizes completion.
Mhm.
And so we have so many sevens in our relationship. y-
Okay.
Like you wouldn't believe. And so as we start to get to know each other, we found out how close we were. Like,
Okay.
for instance, I'm an Aries. He's a Sagittarius. We're fire signs. It's only three fires. It's only three signs. I think, was it four? I think you got water, I think air, fire, and earth. Right. So there's only four. And the chances of us both being fire is amazing. It's just wild. And then he's on the 28th. His birthday is November 28th, on March 28th.
Mhm.
Just too many to even consider. But at the same time, it's like us really finding out who we are and learning each other. It's just been, to me, amazing.
And not
Okay.
only that, what's kind of really flipped the switch for me is finding out what her Enneagram number is.
Mhm.
And when I'm reading it, it's kind of bringing some things to light. Like, oh, that's why she does that.
It's putting it in
And this and
focus.
that. Yeah. So it allows you to understand your mate more.
Mhm.
And then you can kind of operate um I guess in a better manner because you understand these things about her, why she does certain things and in that way. So, what you don't understand, what you didn't understand before, you like, why did she do that? And it's like,
Right,
and it
right.
and it picks on your nerves. But now it's like, oh, that's who she is. I understand that,
Yeah.
Mhm. And I
you
guess
know?
Yeah.
too, knowing your number helps you understand why you respond to her
Exactly.
as
Right.
in
Yeah.
that
The way.
whatever the manner is that
Yeah.
you
Right.
respond
Yeah.
to her.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
So when you ask about us, like, cohabitating or getting together,
Mhm.
I was like, I ain't getting any younger. And I do know that you're gonna learn about a person faster when you move in, like when
Oh,
you
I
live with that person. Right.
hello? You know
So
I
I was
know.
like, I don't have shit to lose. If this shit
Mhm.
goes south, it goes south. So 2 months into us talking, because this is the other thing. We met in 19, like the
Right.
end of 19 December. And then we met each other again in that February of 2020. So
Mhm.
we talked a lot that day, and you learn a lot about people when you talk to them.
Yes.
And so I had that whole time to just chat a little bit here and there. And so by the time we actually got together in August of 2020, um, I had said to myself, if he's cool people, we're gonna get together, because
Mhm.
I had already had it in my mind. I don't know what he was thinking, but by October of 2020, we moved in together because
Wow.
I was like, I don't have shit to waste. I don't have time to waste, and I don't have shit to lose. And I said, let's come, like wherever he was staying, it was a lot of money, you
Mhm.
know. So I said, you don't need to be spending that kind of money. Let's combine some things. And if things don't work out, we'll just go separate ways. But it's been great.
Yeah.
It's
I
been
mean, it's
beautiful.
obviously and for all of that to work out in a pandemic, like
Hmm.
that's how you know like that's supposed to work
Yeah. Yeah.
because ooh, COVID was not nice to a lot of people. And I
Hmm.
think that is beautiful hearing stories of it not being a factor.
Right.
You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like
Right.
COVID has inserted itself into so many people's relationships and ripped people apart and pushed people apart. And hearing your story and telling our story and hearing like it was fine.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
COVID? You know, like
Right.
Mhm.
we were
Well,
at
and
home chilling. We were
yeah,
getting to
we
know each other.
exactly. We've had a great time. We've had some of hiccups just like any other relationship. It's not like it's been like all
Daisies
peaches
and
and
glitter.
cream. Right.
Mm-hmm.
All of that. But we've learned and we've been dedicated to each other.
That's what's up.
And when you come to our home, it's a home. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's like you'll just love it. And we've done so many things together. And like I told you, like our backyard, we
Yeah.
come in, it's so welcoming.
When y'all built that retaining wall, I said, that's it. Go ahead. Put a stamp on it. They are together.
Oh my
Amen.
God.
Because a whole retaining wall, nobody's doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
He's a true partner. And I push him, I
Mm-hmm.
push his ass, and I know he's like, please, not one more thing.
Cause I'm laid back, man. I'm just like, hey, man.
He laid back, so laid back, almost lazy. And it's cool, because
Right.
the thing is, we just have to push each other and he pushes me,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and so I appreciate how we dance. It's a beautiful dance.
Yeah. But
So,
for me, I think what changed for me, I was in the military. I was in the Marine Corps. So for me, everything has to be on. You're focused
Right.
all the time. And when you spend so much time in the military and you get out, that's still a part of you. That's in your
Mhm.
blood. So I'm still that way. But I got to a point in my life as I'm getting older. I said, you know what? I can't stress about the craziness.
Mhm.
Let me back off a little bit. Let me relax a little bit more because I'm just strictly drill sergeant.
Right.
And so when she says like laziness, it's just me relaxing a little bit more because I
Right.
don't want to be that strict person. So I think, hey, that can wait,
Mhm.
or
And it drives her
it's
crazy,
not
I'm
that
sure.
serious. Yeah. You
Right,
know,
yeah. Because
No,
you're in
but
not
that
at all.
mindset of, like, if you don't do it, if you drop the ball, somebody could die if you don't do
yes.
Mhm.
whatever you're supposed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom was married to a drill sergeant. I
Yeah.
know. My
Yeah.
dad would come home. I was telling Lori way back at the beginning when I was describing my dad. My dad would come home. You remember Major Payne?
Yep.
He had the
Uh-huh.
full outfit with the
Yep. Yep.
hat and the boots and would scare the shit out of us. And my mom would
Yep.
be like, Jim, you're scaring the kids.
Yeah.
Change your clothes. At least take the hat off before you come in this house. So
That's funny.
I know everything
Yeah.
being, meticulous and in place. And yeah, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. So to be able to be in a relaxed space where everything isn't going to end, the world isn't going to end,
Yeah.
nobody's going to die if you don't, well, y'all don't like dishes, but we had that conversation. But if
Yeah.
something doesn't get done, it's okay.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
and it took a while for me to really get that because trying to transition from the military to civilian sector,
Mm-hmm.
it's very hard. People don't their work ethic is not like yours.
Right.
And it's
Right.
taken a very long time. Even to now, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Day to day, it's hard dealing with stuff because that is still a piece of who I am. It's been
Right.
embedded inside of me. You know, but I've relaxed a little bit more.
Okay.
Because Lori knows some things, like things that I'm really passionate about. Oh, it has to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm not. It's not going out. So, but yeah, and she, it kind of picks on her every now and then.
But
So
the thing about it, like I'll get on him about, saying he's gonna do something and then it kind of doesn't get done. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, you said you're gonna do this and it didn't happen. And then he'll get on it. But like,
Okay.
for instance, we had a big event on Labor Day, like the Sunday before Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
And when I tell you, when he says he's gonna do something at a time, for me, I'll just merge all the shit together. Like 12, 1, 2, 3. I don't give a shit. It's
No.
gonna happen. He's like,
No.
I'm gonna do this at 10 and then I'm gonna do this at 11.
Right.
And it's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, and I'm thinking, shit, he went, did whatever he needed to do, and I'm doing something else.
she's totally on a different schedule. Like the night before, I put in my notes on my iPhone. I said, okay, at 10 o'clock, I'm doing this. At this
Mm-hmm.
time, I'm going to be done with that. I'm going to transition to this. And I had it in
Yeah.
point, and she was like, okay, at this time, I'm going to do this. And then I looked around, she was doing working on the retaining wall. That wasn't even in the plan for this was the 4th of September.
Yeah, about
So
fourth or fifth.
we observed Labor Day on the 4th. This is
Mm-hmm.
when we were having a big party, everything. So the morning of the party, now we got all this stuff. She said, I'm gonna do the kitchen, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna mop the floors, I'm gonna da da da. She's doing a retaining wall.
Because that's more important. You see what I'm saying? Like that shit was important. Like we had to have that in my mind. I needed to have it
Yes.
done.
Okay, I was about to say
And
it was more important to you at
right.
that time.
But
Yep.
see but things changed though, because before that, she was like, oh, we can just finish it after the party. So
Uh-huh.
me, I'm like, okay, I'm good because I can focus on the party. Let's get things done, knock it out. And
Right.
then 2 o'clock, she's still on the retaining wall. Now people are supposed to come over. We told them what, 3:30?
Oh Lord.
Folks came at 3:15. I'm like, what the fuck you doing here? It's
Yes.
3:30. Like,
Yes.
why
No,
y'all here so
no.
early?
So I'm thinking to myself, because I see the week of, I'm seeing the future. And, she's talking about this retaining wall. And I'm like, there's no way, because I took that Thursday off, and then that Friday I had to help my daughter move. So I'm matching everything up with hours. How many hours gonna take this?
Right.
We're not gonna get to that.
That's the military.
You know, and I'm thinking
Mhm.
we are already burnt out because we've been working on a lot of projects.
Yes.
So I'm seeing by the party we're gonna just be gone. You
Just
know, so
relax,
I'm
just
yeah.
chill, just lay
So
back.
yeah, so I'm telling her, hey Lori, um, hey, we're gonna stop at this time, okay? And
Nah.
we went somewhere and came home, and she was like, I'm just gonna put a couple layers on the retaining wall. And this is like, look, this is like eight
Lori.
This
o'clock.
is before the
Yeah,
party,
yeah,
though.
this is before the party. It's like 8 o'clock at night. It's dark, you know, and I'm like, there's no light out there. And she's like, yeah, I want to. So I'm just saying, you know what? I'm going in the house. So I went in the house. I'm like,
Which was good for him because don't get involved in what I got going here.
yeah, this was going on in her brain and all this stuff. And so, long story short, we after the party, she was like, you know what? I get it now because I would mention because I don't want to start any, issues, anything,
He
Mhm.
knows me
but
by
I would
now.
say little things like, hey, can we stop at 7 o'clock today? And because I just want to chill with my boo,
Nope.
and she's like, 7 o'clock roll around. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it go. So I just let it go. But after the party though, Ashley said, you know what? I get it
Mhm.
because I am so
I was
tired.
exhausted. It's a
I'm just
hot ass
ready to
mess.
go because we were leaving to go to San Diego too, like 2 days
Oh
later.
my goodness, Lori, you put all of this heaped on your own self.
Yeah.
I worked
But then at
myself.
And
least you realize though.
yeah.
I did. I
And
learned from it, and
yeah.
which again is about learning, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
if you put the pride aside and you recognize what can I learn from this individual and what can they
Yeah.
learn from me,
Mhm.
I'm learning so much from him,
Mhm.
and I believe that he's learning from me. I love this dude, man.
I love
I
it.
just
Yeah.
I
And
love
for
it.
me, just to hear her, because most people they're stuck on pride. They're not gonna say, hey, you know what? I see what
Yeah.
you were talking about. I get it. I apologize, but I get it. But she came to me and said, hey, I understand now. And I
Mhm.
appreciate you, taking the back seat, not pushing me and this and that. You kind of let me do my thing, but I get it. And that meant so much to me to
yeah.
hear
That
that,
is
Yeah,
you
because
know.
awesome.
he let me fall. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes even with your children and again, as we're sharing our story, this is and just being us being vulnerable because we don't have to share this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
But it's about sharing this with our our tribe, you know, our community of people who believe in us and who listen to us. And I'm so thankful for our audience being able to share this because it's important,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? If you have children or you're in a relationship, it's about really learning each other and trying to grow with
Yeah.
each other,
Mm.
And so I really want to grow with this person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he really wants to grow with me. And I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah. And it's in all aspects of life though, not just this portion of, hey, you were working on the retaining wall and I knew you're
Right.
going to be tired. This transitions into other areas of your life, maybe
Mhm.
work or other relationships with maybe your family or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like Lori said, it's not about the pride. Like all of us, we're human beings. We make
Yeah.
mistakes,
Yeah.
but I think the key thing is like I talked about the Enneagram, knowing yourself,
Mhm.
you know, uh, and just say, you know what, I know I do this sometimes. Sometimes I drop the ball on things. Sometimes I'm lazy. And as long as you accept that and know who you are, you can operate in life so much better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just be honest with yourself.
Okay, I got one question before we wrap this up because it's the only thing that we haven't talked about is this engagement.
Okay.
So, when you proposed, was it very like military planned out, plotted out? You had everything lined up,
Yes,
or
it
were you laid
was.
back? Oh, it was.
No, it was
Okay.
because I wanted to make sure because we had a wedding that we were going to go to. It was in Jamaica,
Yes.
and we
That was at
left
the
on a
beginning of this recording.
Yep.
yeah,
The
yeah, it was.
beginning.
Yep, uh-huh. And we were supposed to fly out Friday morning, and so we had ordered the ring, and the ring was coming in. Well, it was. They told us it would be back in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I was like, oh man, that's gonna be close for the trip, and this and that. So maybe I can get it back before the trip and then ask her on the trip. But then I said, nah, because we're going there for a wedding. I don't want to take anything away from the couple that's getting married,
Right. Yeah.
So I don't want to do that, So I called the manager and I said, hey, I wanted to know if you could call the people that's doing the sizing and the setting of the stone, call them and see if we could get the ring back by that Wednesday, because we're leaving out on Friday. So I'm thinking, man, he said, let me check. So he called me back and said, yeah, we can get it in that Wednesday. So I'm thinking, because I'm calling the manager because they can make anything happen, right? If they can't make it happen, then it's not going to happen. I'm cool with that. But he told me, yes, it can happen. You can come by and pick it up. So I'm like, cool. So
Mercury must have been a retrograde.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, is he about to have the same story? Lori, was your engagement like my engagement? The ring didn't show up on time?
No, it oh my goodness, man.
Lord,
So
your face.
oh my goodness. All right, so this is what happened. So on that Wednesday, I get a text, and I had already talked to Lori. I get a text. It was a voicemail.
Okay.
And it was from the jeweler.
Who sent you the text?
Lori sent me the text. She sent me. Now, the jeweler, it wasn't the manager. He's on vacation. And I'm thinking he would pass down the word about, because I told him, hey, this is very important. This is on the, like Martin would say, the low, the secret, right? So he didn't tell the young lady that we had dealt with before. We dealt with her and him at the same time. But I'm calling the manager because I've been in a manager position where, hey, I'm gonna make things happen. I'm gonna make sure everybody knows what's going on for this man, right?
So that manager tells the person who had been working with us the whole time. And for me, I already know if a person has been working with us the whole time, they're gonna relay the message.
Wait a minute, hold on, y'all. Lori, you already knew?
No, well,
yes,
you already knew about the ring.
Yes, I
did.
She
called and left a message on her phone.
Oh my God.
And told me the ring was ready to pick up.
So this is Wednesday. This is that Wednesday. We're leaving for Jamaica on Friday, right? So this Wednesday, so she sends me I'm working. I get a text with the voicemail. So I listen to it, and when I tell you, everything went some all the way down. I'm like, no. It was like no, like
so
slow
they just
motion.
blew the whole surprise.
Yep.
Yes.
So now, meanwhile, I'm like, okay, go get the damn ring. I now know.
Hold on,
it's over with now. It's fine. Whatever.
No, you gotta tell this part. So she called me, right? And she says, hey, did you get my message, my text? I said, yeah, I got it. I said, and she said, I want to pick it up today. So I'm trying to save the plan. I'm trying to save the plan. So
it's over.
Now, she can be like focused, and I ain't gonna say stubborn. I'm gonna say focused on things, right?
You can say stubborn.
She would say, so she's stubborn. Yeah. So she says, no, when you get home today, I want to go pick up the ring. And I said, you know what? I don't want to do it today. I'm tired. Let's do it tomorrow.
Nope.
So of course she's,
because her whole moment has been ruined.
Yeah,
by this person.
I'm not thinking he's gonna propose.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
like,
not thinking that.
We
she's
already
like, the ring is in. Let's go pick it up.
Right. I'm thinking I want to have this ring when I'm in Jamaica.
Yeah.
He's talking about picking that shit up after we get back.
But okay, wait. I have like a little bit of confusion. Lori, did you already know you were getting engaged?
I didn't know he was gonna propose.
We went and picked out the ring.
We just
you already knew that there was a ring and that it existed and all of that.
Right.
Okay.
I know the ring that I wanted. Because like you were saying, this is not traditional for you. It wasn't traditional for us.
Yeah, I wanted her to have the ring that she wanted. Not just something that I picked out and then she's like, well, it's all right,
But I didn't know he was gonna propose.
Yeah. So
I just had no idea.
I had on a low, the secret low, So she tells, so of course I can tell that she's a little upset when I tell her, no, let's just do it tomorrow, which is Thursday.
Not
right?
tomorrow. He said when we get back.
Yeah, that's right. When we get back. But see, that was
no.
But that was part of the plan because I wanted her to be like,
Surprise.
okay, and let it go and be like, and on the,
He just blew
Okay.
it though. You know what I mean? Because he didn't
Right.
know what was in my mind. I
yeah,
didn't want
she
to
didn't
be
she
coming
didn't
back
communicate what was going
and
on
have
in
a
her
ring.
mind.
I wanted to have a ring when I was in Jamaica.
Yeah, but I didn't know
Right.
that.
So
I
now
want to
you're
be like,
pissy because you're like,
Yes.
where's the damn
yeah,
ring? Let's just get it over with.
Yeah.
exactly.
So when I'm on the phone, she was like, okay, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later. So I'm like, wow. So the whole time, this was about noonish. This is around lunchtime. So I left work at 3:30. I get in the car and it's bothering me. It's just pulling on me, man. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna get away from this. I know she's gonna want da da da. So I called her
Okay.
and I said, listen, this is what it is. And I said, this is what the plan was. I called the guy last week. Da da da. I just laid it out.
He told his whole story.
Yes, I just laid it out
How did
because
you
she wasn't
feel then,
budging.
I
Lori?
was
She
pissed
wasn't
even
budging.
more.
Oh God.
I'm like, why you tell your story? Because for me, I would have come up with some elaborate thing and said,
Uh-huh.
I'm
N-
getting
n-
that ring or
no,
something, but I wouldn't have blown my cover.
no,
He blew his
no.
cover.
She wanted to pick it up that day.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm finna just let it out because when I go home, she's gonna want to go pick that ring up.
Yeah.
So what I did, I just told her, and she was like, "Oh man." So she was still at work. So I still went and picked up the ring. She didn't
Okay.
know it. She didn't
Mm-mm.
know it.
Okay.
I didn't even care anymore
Yeah,
at that
Oh,
she was
point.
done. Yeah, she was done. So that's kind of,
okay.
I was like, good. She was just
Mm-hmm.
over it. So I went and got the ring. So we were at home. I picked up the ring and
And
everything.
now it's Thursday.
Yeah, so it's Thursday.
Okay, so it's the next day. Okay.
Yeah,
So you had let it
and
go a little bit, Laura. You're still like a little,
I'm
you're still
done.
she's done.
seething a
No,
little.
no, no. I wasn't seething. I
No,
didn't
Oh,
she
give
you
was
a
were
done.
done.
shit. I was
Yeah,
I didn't care
Okay.
anymore. If
yeah,
if he proposed or if he didn't propose,
yeah,
I knew it had the ring. I just didn't give a shit anymore about it being
yeah,
me being in Jamaica with the ring
yeah. But she didn't
because I
know.
was I
She
Okay.
was
didn't know I
because
had
he
the
blew
ring
the
though.
cover, so I was just bothered.
Yeah, she thought at this point when she was done, she was like, "Oh, well, we'll just get it when we come back." But
So
she didn't
you
know I
still
had
didn't know
picked
that
up the
he went
ring.
to,
No,
okay.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Okay.
So this is Thursday, and she's in the bathroom. I went because I put it in the closet. So I went to the closet, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go on and do it now, right? So she's doing something on the back of her. She's putting her robe up, or she's doing something. So I walked through, and I fell down to my knee. I was like, "Oh, my leg gave out," and I
And
went down.
and I'm still annoyed with him, so I could give two
Yeah,
shits
so
that he
she's
fell on
Lori,
like,
his
"Yeah,
you
knee.
didn't care if he was hurt.
No,
no." So
and
I'm
he
like,
had already hurt his knee too. I was like, figure this shit
"Yeah."
out.
So
You
I'm like,
get up.
"Ah," and I'm like, "Help me up." So she
But
looks at me.
but once he looked like he was in pain, I was like, oh shit, I do need to pick him up. So I went to try to help him up.
Yeah, so she
Okay.
went to help me up, and I said, "Bam, like, ah, will you marry me?" And she looked, and she was like, "Ah."
Yeah, that was really he did it. He did it his way, and it worked out because it was better to do it like that than to do it
Mm-hmm.
in Jamaica. Because that to me now, as I think back on it, it might have been a little grandstanding or whatever.
Yes, it would have.
Right. And the way he did it was so genuine and it
Mm-hmm.
was so sweet. And then I kind of felt bad because I was gonna let his ass sit there on the floor.
Because she looked at me. Look, she looked at me like, "You better get up." And I'm like,
That is
"Ah, I
too
can't, I can't
funny.
move." Yeah,
Right. So that was
That is
sweet. And so that's
hilarious.
how he proposed. And it was really sweet. And I still had my ring going to
In
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Right.
yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah, so
That's
it all
Yeah.
worked
funny.
out. But I was just so, and so when I went, this is the thing I forgot. When I went to pick up a ring, the lady was like, "I am so sorry."
She
She
should have
was, she
been.
was really, oh my goodness. She's like, "I am so sorry
She
that I,"
messed up the
oh my
whole thing.
God.
Well, it's
Yeah.
still, you know what though? It still worked out because
Yeah,
it was
it did.
supposed to work out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because
It
this is a real love story.
it
Yes.
is.
Yes,
It
it
really
is.
is. Thank
Yes.
you, Sylvie. I love your questions. Thank you.
Oh, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for telling your story. Thank you for sharing like so many nuggets, so many lessons and so much encouragement. Like I'm sure that this will encourage so many other people and especially, you know, y'all have been married before, you've been divorced, you've been through this life, you've had all of these things, you have children and you still managed to find your person
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
still managed to walk this life together. Oh, so I appreciate y'all. And I really hope that, yes, this was encouraging to others. And yeah, thanks for listening.
All right.
And I want to thank you guys for having me on.
Yay. We're
It's
so
been a
grateful.
blast.
This
Thank you
ain't
so
gonna be
much.
the last. He'll be back.
No, you'll be back. We have to get the four of us. We have to get the four of us together.
Yes.
That I
that'll,
want to do.
that'll be hilarious.
Yes.
All right, guys. Love y'all. Talk to you later.
Thanks.
That's it for this week's show. I'm Lori Scott.
And I'm Sylvia Johnson. And you've been listening to What's Been Better.
A big thank you to Lagon Music Inc. for providing our music. This show is edited and produced by us with a little help from our family and friends. We love you all.
We want to hear what's been better for you. To be a guest on the show, send us an email to questions@whatsbeenbetter.com. Or you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at What's Been Better Podcast.
Thanks for listening.